Welcome to the boudoir of Sensual Vitality-TV. I'm Dr. Andrea. This show is for mature audiences only, so please watch responsibly. You may choose to put earphones in before we get heavy into each episode, especially today's show. You can also listen to each episode as a podcast on iTunes or Android podcast players. A few years ago, I appeared on the Dr. Oz Show, a popular daytime TV show in America, to talk about serious diseases found in women over 40, which often go untreated or are missed due to women failing to recognize or simply dismissing the symptoms. And many people were shocked to hear me say that at that time, I recommended that my patients have at least 3 orgasms a week. In the context of recognizing a potential symptom of type 2 diabetes, for example, it made sense. A low libido, decreased arousal, and lack of orgasm are often found in people with sludgy blood vessels and poor nerve conduction brought on by high blood sugar, as well as high blood pressure. Now, to tell the truth, the female orgasm started out as one clever gauge of overall health and well-being. Using the sexual response as an indicator of physical health quickly became an opening for honest discussions around intimacy, pleasure, and sexual satisfaction for my clients and members of our online wellness community. But now it's much more than that. In addition to providing a barometer of well-being and health, today the orgasm is an indicator of personal empowerment, self-acceptance, and self-love, as well as an affirmation of a woman's right to enjoy pleasure in her body and her overall life. Now, I know that many women are frustrated with how elusive orgasm can be for them. And while orgasm is integral to the sensual and erotic process, it should not be accompanied by performance pressure. Achieving orgasm is complex, and it should not be, graded as a pass-fail sex test. But since so many women express to me their deep despair that the sexual problems have caused a rupture of some of their most precious relationships with their partners, I have dedicated my time to bringing you the best resources on the planet to empower you. Now, one thing you should know is this: it's not about the orgasm. On this show, you will learn how to enhance your orgasmic capacity and boost erotic pleasure, but equally important is the aim of deepening your intimate connection with your lover and transforming sex into a sacred act. I know it sounds really deep, but there is so much more to sex than orgasm. I know, it sounds crazy, especially when I'm the one writing a new book called The Orgasm Prescription for Women. So, how many orgasms per week are right for you? Here's the thing. In medicine, I often prescribe treatments that are customized for the patient based on their age, weight, gender, and even their organ function. And that's because we have population studies that tell us the minimum dosing and how quickly a condition responds to treatment. But when it comes to erotic pleasure and sexual satisfaction, there is no magical formula. In writing and researching the Orgasm Prescription book, I interacted with nearly 1,000 women around the world who were on a mission to orgasm, and I now have a new perspective on the weekly orgasm quota. Your personal orgasm prescription is precisely that: personal. Your orgasm prescription can and should be written by you, based on your body, your brain, and your overall sense of bliss. The goal is not to achieve some high score, sorry Jill Scott, but rather to identify your personal prescription that will enable you to have a fulfilling sexual life in radiant sensual vitality.
That means you get to write your own personal orgasm prescription.
I'm here to serve as a guide, to help you understand your overall arousal system. I'm here to teach you how you can increase desire and pleasure for yourself, how you can achieve orgasm, yes, and how to determine how many are right for you. Above all, my goal is to empower you to reclaim your sensual vitality and affirm your right to sexual satisfaction, now and for many years to come. Pun intended. So what if you can't get there? What are the common orgasm blockers, and how do you overcome them? Well, if you're having a hard time experiencing orgasm, what should you do? Where do you look first? Now, in my free audio report on the top 5 reasons you're not having an orgasm, I explain that the most common causes can be overcome pretty simply. You can download the report for free, so be sure to get it. Now, the first thing I recommend, as I said on the Dr. Oz show, is to have a health checkup to determine if you have any easily treatable hormonal or medical issues. The best way to make sure you're getting adequate blood flow to your lady parts, which is crucial for arousal and orgasm, is to have normal blood pressure and normal blood sugar levels. So get them checked, okay? Next, getting regular physical activity and exercise to the tune of about 30 to 45 minutes a day, 4 to 5 days a week, can really help with blood flow. It also helps to boost your testosterone, which is needed for sexual desire. And exercise helps you release the brain chemicals that are needed for excitement, arousal, and orgasm. So, of course, it goes without saying that if you're not in a healthy relationship with a solid foundation of safety, intimacy, communication, and trust, it's going to be hard to achieve orgasm. Some of the very common and very annoying mental obstacles to orgasm, these come from being preoccupied with how you look, what your partner thinks of you, to worry about whether the kids or neighbors can hear you moaning, or fears of the negative consequences of being sexual, or going through your to-do list in your mind. If you're stuck in your head, distracted by mental or environmental noise, then orgasm is going to seem as far away as Mount Everest. Another big hurdle to ecstasy, seen mainly in women, is feeling like you just don't deserve pleasure, which we've talked about before on this show. So think about this. Do you ever feel that you have to give more than you receive? Do you ever feel guilty at times when you take a spa day, or buy something new, or indulge in some me time? If you do find it difficult to receive pleasure, compliments, or self-gratification, then you may have a hard time surrendering to the erotic pleasure enough to reach orgasm. Now, are you waiting for your partner to get you off? So many women over the years started off their complaints by telling me, "Dr. Andrea, my man just doesn't make me come." And to that I say, honey, you should never give up responsibility for your pleasure. Your orgasm is your responsibility. Now, it may not be popular, but it's the most empowering and honest and realistic approach to harmony between the sheets, or on the living room floor, or backseat of the car. Seriously, ladies, if your partner doesn't have the skills or techniques, you either need to tell him what it takes, climb on top so you get more clitoral stimulation, ask him to go down on you. Studies show that more women can climax when oral sex is involved. Or use your fingers, his fingers, or a vibrator. The point is, if you lay back like a pillow princess, giving over responsibility to make you come, you will likely leave unsatisfied. So, you've got to tune in to turn on. As far back as the 1970s, with the research at the Kinsey Institute, one key that was found to help couples, women especially, become more orgasmic involves tuning into your senses. Hence the title of our show, Sensual Vitality. With regular practice of mindfulness meditation, yoga, and even special breathing exercises, you can learn to turn off that judgmental mind and quiet down that inner critic while you tune into pleasure in your body, in the here and now. And this has been proven in so many different clinical populations to be a major key to improving erotic desire, physical arousal, and orgasmic release. It can also help you attune to your partner and enhance intimacy and pleasure in so many amazing ways. Now, there are a number of free meditations and mindfulness exercises that I've made available for you here. And in my upcoming free video training series, we will delve into these tools to help you boost desire, improve body confidence, and enhance erotic intimacy. Okay? So stay tuned for that. Now, if all else fails, I'm going to give you 3 easy, fast ways to help you experience orgasm. Number 1, masturbate with a vibrator. Pretty simple. Number 2 is to think about or act out a sexual fantasy while you're masturbating or with your partner. Fantasies. Number 3 is to read erotic fiction, either alone or together, or watch erotic films. Now, there are plenty of women-created erotic films today. It's not the dirty old porn of yesteryear. Many women are finding that by reading these sort of novels, they're able to start turning themselves on because they imagine themselves in some of these scenarios. So you don't have to tell your partner about it, but allow erotic fiction or erotic films to turn you on, and you'll be closer to orgasm. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please like and subscribe, and share this with your friends or the lovely ladies in your life who need to learn how to tap into more pleasure. Please join our Sensual Vitality entourage at sensualvitality.tv. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're turned on. Until next time, I'm Dr. Andrea Pennington.
Join us at facebook.com/svitality.tv. Be sure to visit sensualvitality.tv and subscribe to our free newsletter. You'll get access to meditations, free ebooks, and special reports that I only share with the Sensual Vitality entourage.